the old saying, a week's a long time in football. Unfortunately for us, that week didn't turn out to be good.
No, mate. A really hollow feeling at the moment to finish like that after a pretty good year by the development boys.
It was unusual. I mean, we got to slow out of the blocks in the first quarter, only about 2 goals down, and then it just seemed to be a nightmare second quarter.
Yeah, they got 10 goals up in that second quarter, and there's no real getting back from there. They sort of, their intensity, I think, and we weren't real smart with the footy and made a few blues, and of course our confidence goes, and the rest is history.
I guess credit to them, they've been a polished side for a number of years now.
Yeah, they're a very good side. I was thinking halfway through the last quarter, look, they've been beaten twice. They've had wins by 30 goals against sides. So they are a well-drilled, well-performed and talented footy side.
Is there much positives at all we could take out of this game? We only kicked 6 goals, 12, but who at least tried valiantly when things weren't going the right way?
Look, Billy Burston and Ryan Gale never gave up all day. I thought from the young fellas, Papaleo, McMillan, Buddha, all really had a go. So, there were some really good things out of that, but overall the result sort of overshadows a fair bit of that.
Just a quick little recap on the year. Obviously, last year we missed out in finals, so at least we're a couple of steps up, getting 2 weeks into the Development League finals. How have you seen the side, particularly some of our second or third year players, develop along and I guess put pressure on senior spots?
Yeah, look, it's been good this year because we've played nearly 50 players in the senior side. So when you're looking at the development side, if they can walk out of our side and play regular senior footy, that's important. And if you look at kids like Muling, and then Paddy McMahon's been up there, Pez has been up there, Gilmore's playing today. I think we've done a reasonable job in that regard, and there's some exciting things happening along those lines. And never forget, they are only kids, and my expectations are always high, and we won't lower those. But I think all in all, we've had a reasonable year developing the young blokes.
Gary, the roller coaster that is 2013 sadly comes to a close.
Yeah, it does, Pete. Look, it started off, it finished off the way it started. A real significant loss to Werribee, and obviously a real significant loss in a semi-final to Williamstown. So they're certainly deserving of all the plaudits today. They exposed us in all, basically, manner and facet of the game, and you've got to give credit where it's due.
Was it fitness or something between the years? They didn't quite seem right today.
No, I thought about halfway through training on Thursday night, I reckon I went away thinking my gut feeling says me, I'm not sure what we're going to get. And I was proved right in my own gut feeling. They were physical, put us on the back foot straight away, forced us into errors, forced us into being extremely reactive, forced us into going into our shell, forced us into going wide, and they just dominated play. And I think at one stage there it was 16 inside 50s to 39, so that's how dominant they were. And that third quarter, we just honestly became a rabble, and they'd score quickly out of the centre, straight into their forward 50 and convert. We couldn't even get our hands on the ball at any stage, really.
Dare I say, did the scoreboard flatter us a little in the final quarter with some of those, I guess, easy goals that Williamstown switched off?
Yeah, it certainly did. And look, we wanted to actually save some sort of embarrassment by doing what we did in the last quarter. But honestly, they'd taken their foot off the gas big time. They were looking forward to Geelong next week. No injuries, and I see Cameron Wood got reported late in the game, so Peter German wouldn't be too pleased about that. And the pressure had just completely and utterly gone out of the game. So, extremely disappointing way to finish, mate.
What'd you say to the boys at the end?
Thanked them for their performances, said that we've got a lot of work to do both on and off the field. It's really about us trying to get on the front foot fairly quickly now. Players who are staying, we're going to have exit meetings. Players who are going to go, if they're thinking about going, make sure they make up their minds very quickly, because I certainly don't want to be hanging around with players umming and ahhing about next year. You're either in or you're out, and if they're out, well, we thank them for their services, but we move on to something else. And we've got to get aggressive from a recruiting point of view. It's something that we probably haven't had to do as much in the last 6 years. So, but with the new teams coming into the competition, our aggressiveness from a recruiting point of view has to be there, and otherwise we'll get left behind.
Also, the cream of the crop may be taken away. All the talk through the year about being Chris Kane and, of course, Josh Scipione, who's got the most votes for us in the listing.
Yeah, no, they've been two super players this year, and look, let's hope they do get picked up, because I believe they honestly deserve a chance at the next level. Whether they do, well, that remains to be seen. But yeah, that's the downside. The upside is that two of our players could get drafted, and that's great from a development point of view from within the club. So you want to be developing players if they aspire to the next level, and it would be great for those two, through the hard work they've done this year, for that to actually occur.
Moving forward, it seems to be a positive that the Development League got through to at least the preliminary final stage, and it seems to be, I think Greg mentioned something like 50 players were rotated through the senior team.
Yeah, it was close to that, Pete. I think it might have been, I don't matter, 49, but it's the most in any stage that we've had here in 6 years. It says a bit about our depth. I think it's young depth. I don't think it's experienced depth. And we've got some good kids coming through. So we'll have to really assess how good they can be. We've got to develop them. I don't think we developed enough players well this year. And that's why we've got to look at how we do that better and fast track their development.
And finally, Gary, before you go, what's your message to the supporters after season 2013?
Well, obviously it's not the year that we wanted to have. There were some things that were roadblocks that we couldn't actually get over. We had to go around for a lot of reasons, but certainly we know that we're a competitive unit. We pride ourselves on being the best VFL standalone team. 6 consecutive years in relation to the finals, 7 in total over what we've been able to do, and in that time there's been 3 grand finals, but the year is probably coming to an end, so it's going to be how quickly we can regroup, reinvent ourselves, regenerate, and obviously try and stay pace with the full-time AFL clubs that are no doubt out there.
Gary, thanks for your time through the season.
Thanks, Pete, for all your help this year, mate. It's been terrific, and thanks for all the support that we get on a regular basis. Really appreciate it.
After the semi-finals with Port Melbourne President Peter Brumley, unfortunately, that is the end of season 2013.
For the Borough it is, Pete, and it's very disappointing. I mean, we love our players as supporters, as spectators, as members. We love what they do. We love the way they play their game, the way that they go out on that field. They try their hardest. Sure, we didn't have a great pre-season. Sure, we were up and down in the time in the season, but the boys have done wonderfully well. And I've got to pay a particular tribute to our captain, John Baird. I think his leadership was missed today. And I think, along with Gary Ayres, Gary encourages his players to make initiatives and take the calls and act on their own behalf. A terrific leadership group, absolutely fantastic. Our other players, when you look right across the group, whether it's the guys in the development squad, the guys in the VFL team, they're just wonderful people. And in life, they're going to really do well. They take the lessons that they've learned out here today and the successes and the not so good days that they've had this year. I think they'll do wonderfully well in their life, and it's a great tribute to them, their parents, the teams that got them here, and our club.
Peter, what's your final message to the supporters and the sponsors of the Port Melbourne Football Club through what has certainly been a roller coaster on and off the field for 2013?
I'd say get on board the Borough in 2014. We're going to go places. We've got the players, we've got the coaches, we've got the supporters. We just need you to keep up, to continue to contribute to our club, to continue to its development. We will be successful.
Borough TV is a Port Melbourne Football Club production.